It was the peloton's one day off of the race so far, and stage 11 from Sisteron to Bourg-les-Valence saw them back at work as the Tour took a long exit ramp from the Alps off the top of the day's lone climb.
Today, the riders return from their alpine adventure and return to the flatter roads of southern France. There are just two what you might call sprint-oriented stages before those roads start to go up again. And the first one of those stages is this one into Bourg-de-Valence. It's a simple, straight run to the line. In fact, it's a final that's well suited to Italian Alessandro Petacchi, who made it clear yesterday that, for the first time since his debut in 2001, he intends to go all the way to Paris in pursuit of the green jersey. So, with nothing too technical to deal with, it's a perfect environment for the well-organised sprint team. There's not even a kick at the end to catch somebody out who starts their sprint too early. In fact, with such a strong tailwind, a long sprint today may very well pay off. Favourites for the day then? Well, having seen the sprinters' post-mountain condition, I'd be surprised if anyone other than Italy's Alessandro Petacchi or HTC Columbia's Mark Cavendish even gets a look in.
This incredible metronome here, Cancellara, he's still on the front, others are swinging off, but not this man. He is power driving it through a move here, an attack, it might be Sylvain Chavanel who's gone. He's looked for a move, how he's found acceleration at this point of the race, and it rather upset the move by Bernard Eisel there for Team HTC Columbia.
Onto his wheel is Jaroslav Popovic. Popovic was on the ground yesterday. We didn't even think he was going to get back onto his bike and survive, but he saw the move by Chavanel. He's come straight across that gap.
Well, that was a good move by Chavanel, well spotted too by Popovic, but you saw the head shaking of Bernard Eisel because he was about to organise HTC train, which he's done at the back end of the peloton, but they've lost two riders up front at 7.5 kilometres to go.
Yes, but now Saxo Bank have turned off the gas at the front end of this main field, and it's been given over to HTC Columbia, and that big line there now is looking after the interests of Mark Cavendish. But you can be certain, Phil, that there's a battle for the wheel of Cavendish on the running down towards the finish line, because all of these guys, Petacchi, Hushoff, Oscar Freire, they will all be looking to try and get into the wheel of the man from the Isle of Man.
This is life at the back here now. The champion Denmark, the Saxo boys, have done their job, but they're dropping off.
Well, they're all dropping off Paolo Tirolongo, but look at the length of this main field here. I don't think these two riders are going to go too far off the front end of the main field, because you've got to be an extremely special professional bike rider to hold off an organised chase by a team like HTC Columbia. Locked onto the wheel of Mark Cavendish, the green jersey of Thor Hushoff. Behind Hushoff, it's Petacchi. Behind Petacchi, it looks as if we've got Tyler Farrer in about 4th or 5th position behind the green jersey.
Well, the wind has pinned the riders to the left. The two escapees couldn't cope with it. The green jersey of Hushoff has hooked up with the Express Terrain from HTC Columbia. Even our cameraman couldn't find the race then, but look at the back of the race. They are really being whipped around like the tail end of the train they are.
But look at the speed though, 60 kilometers an hour, 37.5 miles an hour. There is Petacchi just shooting around the corner there. We're just at 6 kilometers to go now.
And Christian Knies, the champion of Germany, has got Gerald Cholik into his slipstream to try and take him to the front. Everybody believes there's a chance for them. Well, at least they don't respect Mark Cavendish. They're not going to give him a stage win without a fight.
Well, there's a little bit of discord here now. There's a bit of disorganisation as other teams are coming to the front to get involved with the lead out for the sprinters, and now I feel it looks as if it's turning over to the advantage of Team Lampre.
Well, I'll tell you, we've seen some great sprints, but Paul, the speed of this peloton right now, it really isn't the place to be if you're nervous, because now Lampre has come through. This is the Dolto, the big man on Lampre. Now it's his turn to lift the pace. They're looking for Petacchi, of course, #1 down there. The man who's won the Tour de France the last 2 times he's ridden it, slowly but surely being washed down the field.
Well, a little further back as well, Lance Armstrong, number 21. This is what's happening at the back end of the main field, but nobody has got real control over the front end of the peloton. And let me remind you, Phil, that just at 1 kilometre to go, there's that very nasty little chicane. It's a right-hander followed by immediately a left-hander, and then a straight 1 kilometre crack to the line. You need to keep the pace nice and high, otherwise this could be a very chaotic sprint once again.
4.8 kilometres to go. The British cyclist in his first Tour for Cervelo, Jeremy Hunt, has now hit the front here and will stay as long as he can possibly stay. But Lampre are looking the better organised at the moment. The Milram boys are looking to bring through Cholik. The Lamprey for Pataki. On the far right, it's Cavendish's squad.
Well, there's a lot of teams getting organised. Look at that, the black jerseys of Team Sky. They're coming forward. They're thinking about their man, Edward Bosenhagen. He has put in some good sprints. He's finished second on the stage of the Tour so far, as Jez Hunt, now two-time British national champion in the past, has come to the front. Lying in the wings, though, it's the Team Lamprey for Alessandro Pataki, but still not disorganised over on the right-hand side is HTC Columbia. You can see big Johan van Summeren with the orange shirt, orange helmet on there. He's looking out for Tyler Farrer.
4 kilometres left to ride. This is an unusual view, I must say. I don't know where the camera is, but these are riders now in the spot of bother here. This is Fabian Cancellara, who has now dropped off the back as they've gone under that 4 kilometres at the front. 3.7 kilometres to go, and it looks as though the Pataki's team has got themselves organised. But on the left of the road, Cavendish's team also well organised. Sky are coming into the mix with the black jerseys.
Well, bumping and barging now. You can see Mark Cavendish, number 4 in that line, not too far behind him, Tyler Farrer. There is Julian Dean. Dean, for the moment, riding behind his team leader, Tyler Farrer. Now the swing off now. The man from Lamprey's done the job. Each of these teams are waiting for the time when they're going to turn up the gas for the final moment. This is the lead out now from Team Sky. Excuse me, Bernard Eisel says, can you get out of the way here? It's getting a little bit short of space.
Yes, Bosenhagen is the third man here, and the team riders of black. They go under 3 kilometres to go now. Well, Pataki's team have done it right. Pataki must be feeling very, very good for them to ride like this. That's interesting, Paul. 2 HTC boys of Cavendish have split up the Pataki train there.
There is Hushoft. He's got himself onto the wheel of Alessandro Pataki. The kind of sprint that Alessandro Pataki likes is exactly the same as Mark Cavendish. He wants his team to be in control. We're looking at 62 kilometres an hour here, average speed for the main field. That's 38.5 miles an hour. What kind of speed are we going to record in the final finishing straight? Will we top 80 kilometres an hour today? With a tailwind like this, we might.
We are going to see steam coming out of these guys' ears as they race towards the town. Now they're still trying to get Tyler Farrer from America in the frame as well on those orange jerseys. They're diving in every direction here, but now HTC Columbia seem to be getting themselves a little bit better organised.
Well, they know how to do it. The first man for HTC there, you can see, is Tony Martin. Behind Tony Martin, it's Bernard Eisel. Behind him, it's Mark Cavendish, who's just got in front of him Mark Renshaw, the lead-out man, who is turning out to be the lead-out man of the world currently.
Looked like it was Serge Powell's there, who's just swung off the front for the Sky team. He's done a big turn at the front. It's now going to be Pataki's team versus Cavendish's team. They are going shoulder to shoulder. That's he whose nerve lasts longest will survive. And look at Thor Hushoft in the green jersey. He could lose that jersey to Pataki tonight if he's not close on his wheel when he finishes.
Well, he's right on his wheel. He's locked on it currently. They're not too far, 400 metres away from this little chicane. This is it. It's a right-hander followed by a left-hander. Let's hope everybody gets around there nice and safely. Once they get around there, they will see the Flamme Rouge. Still organises HTC Columbia, but still right in there with the mix. You can see Pataki. There is Oscar Freire in the orange as they go under 1,000 metres to go.
It doesn't get much better than this for a sprinter as they turn under the kilometre to go. We're now at 750 metres to go. The big lead out is in place for Mark Cavendish, but can he be launched at the line like he so often is? As Tyler Farrer's being moved up here, and they're all getting very tired at the same time. Who is behind? They're trying to get Renshaw through to launch Cavendish. Now it's up to Renshaw. Mark Renshaw kicks, but they're shoulder to shoulder towards the line. Cavendish is getting out of the mix here. He's going to have to come on the right of our picture. Now he goes, and Pataki goes on the left. But Mark Cavendish again makes it a formality. When he sees the finish, he is absolutely impossible to beat. Mark Cavendish gets his 13th victory in a Tour de France, and he makes it look so easy.
Mark Cavendish's 13th stage win, one better than his team coach Eric Zabel managed in a 14-year Tour career. But for once, the replays were concentrating on his lead-out man, Mark Renshaw, certainly on the race commissaire's TV monitors. 3 headbutts aimed at Garmin's lead-out man, Julian Dean, and a dangerous move left that blocked Garmin's designated sprinter, Tyler Farrer, were enough to get him disqualified, not just from the stage, but the race altogether. Ned Boulting went chasing the key players for their reaction.
It was all happening on the team bus. The riders showered and inside the hotel for a preprandial massage. The management summoned to a meeting to formulate a response to the bittersweet events of the afternoon.
Well, what we've learned is there is no appeal of the jury of the UCI commissars. They make an independent decision, and they do that based on the information they have. We know Mark Renshaw very well. He's not an unsafe rider. He would not do anything to jeopardize his fellow competitors. So for us, it's very simple. Mark's out of the race, and we're going to continue to compete without him tomorrow.
A little later, Renshaw himself emerged. The reality of his expulsion incontrovertible. The reality of the infringements still debatable, especially the incident involving Tyler Farrar.
I never wanted to impede anyone else. I didn't see Tyler. I saw clean air behind me, or behind Cavendish when he went. If that's the most serious incident and that's why I've been disqualified, then I think it's pretty harsh, because if you look back over the sprints of all the Tour de France, if someone got disqualified each time that someone impeded their line, I don't think we'd have any sprinters left here.
And with that, the Aussie lead-out man departed the Tour. He leaves behind him a peloton with divided attitudes. There are those who see things differently. There are those who feel Julian Dean has got off lightly. Of course, you'll be aware that his contention is that it was almost retaliation, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to try and justify their behaviour. So, you know, he's obviously going to see it different to how other people see it. But, you know, the decision's been made and it was out of our control. It was nothing to do with us.